Amin Media Group presents your NXT Next Level Wrestling Review with your host, Big Ray and the Vet. So,
are you ready? We said, are you ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Next Level Podcast Show. I am your host, Jimmy T. I can hear a reverb on my end for some weird reason, but Vet, what's going on? You got to bear with me for a second because
Jimmy is thrown off. He is thrown off. His life is ruined. The last time we got together, audio issues that weren't our fault. This time, maybe audio issues that are our fault. Who knows? First, before we even bother trying to get the show under control, can anybody hear this? Can anybody hear the Next Level Wrestling Review? I will wait. I'll say hi to some people. I see Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass. I see Chris Winland. Cold-blooded. Sir Jam. Handsome slashing dancing Dan Heffron. All right, everybody hears us. So we're good on that end, but now Jimmy's gone. So we have to wait for him to come back from his fictional country. And yeah, as you noticed, because Big Ray's been going through some things recently, Jimmy has graciously stepped in to help. Yesterday we were supposed to do the I Like It Raw, but StreamYard said, no, you can't do it. Hello, Jimmy.
hello, Vet. That was the weirdest thing, man. I was getting all this reverb from myself. So every time I'm talking, I'm hearing myself on delay, though. And I'm like, how the hell is that even happening? But whatever, man. It's better now. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is, dude. But lately, it's like they're jinxing us, Vent. The gods are literally jinxing us. But anyway.
Or is it Don Stevens?
It could be.
This isn't even the show, Don Stevens. This is not your show. Don't worry about what we say over here. Okay?
It could even be TK for, you know. all the dirty sheets out there after I've been, all over them online, but that's another story. Vet, how's it going though, man? Everything's normal finally right now after yesterday's debacle and just that little debacle on my end for whatever reason. But Vet, how's things and what's going on, man?
Things are great and nothing's going on unless somebody knows something I don't know. I did not check up on any wrestling news or anything like that. So if something happened, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, no, really, like I said yesterday on the I Like It Raw show, like delayed show, that is, I literally read out 2 news items, and really looking at it right now, still nothing much has changed, man. So I don't think we even need to do a 3 count at this point.
Well, that's good for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I don't want to. Number 2, we got Deadline to talk about, so that's going to take up an extra chunk of time. And I also went ahead into the future. Like, guys, I know we take the time machine and we go back in time. I went ahead into the future to go back in time to check and see if anything happened on this day in pro wrestling, all those years ago, and nothing really substantial happened. So we can even skip the time travel this week.
So we're not time traveling?
No need. Nothing happened. Nothing important happened. They just kept talking about a bunch of TNA pay-per-views, and I was like, we definitely don't have to talk about any of this.
Well, do you remember last time, actually? I think it was you and I, as a matter of fact, the last time we actually did this show together. We were reading, like, there was a lot of just crap, like misinformation out there about,
the
like,
Lance Storm title reigns, and yeah.
Like, now I think back on it, is this all the work with on this day, blah, blah, blah happened? Not everything, obviously, but still, I can't trust anything anymore when it comes to that, man.
Yeah, who knows? But So yeah, so we don't have news. We don't have time travel. What else do we normally do? We got okay, we got to acknowledge. We definitely got to acknowledge. So we could start with that at least. Let's acknowledge some people.
Absolutely. First and foremost, let's acknowledge the man upstairs in Mike Medium 5 Verde. What's going on? Where's the gobble? Oh, how do you say it? I can't even pronounce it properly.
The gabagool.
The gabagool. That's it. That's how you say it. But also, we got Chris Willand in the house saying, I told you guys, Zarya should have never spoken a single word in the first place. She's certainly made for TNA, though. Swap her for Jordan Grace during the transfer window stat. I don't like her. I can't stand her personally, dude. I don't like her look. Her gimmick is
the Australian hate continues. Australian hate continues. Jimmy doesn't like any Australians confirmed.
Well, let's be honest. Now that Chris brought it up before I acknowledge everyone else, I mean, does she not remind you of Luna Vachon in some ways, but like a cheaped out version?
I guess because she has blonde hair and the sides of her heads are shaved.
No, it's more her. Well, like, what is she? Like, really? She's supposed to be some sort of dark monster or whatever. Like, honestly, like, what's her gimmick, man?
I don't know. A destroyer. She's a woman wrestler, bro. That's what they all are. Who even? I don't even.
Well,
I'm not worried about telling people what they need to be. Just
do you think?
Judge them what they're doing.
Well, speaking of judging on what they're doing, Frank's Pickle Barrel's ass.
Judgment's getting handed down left and right there.
Apparently, he's stuffing his mother with delicious Aussie beef. It's a bit weird, Frank, but I don't judge.
Apparently, he meant to say mouth. You know, these autocorrect.
Sure he did. Anyway, we got Cold Blooded also in the house. Morning friends. What's going on? We've also got, hey, Sir Jam. What up, Oos? What's going on, Jam? And we've got Dan Heffron in the house. And who else do we have? I think, we also got the Vicious of the Vicious, Insane Vicious, also in the house. And
is he Australian too? Because you keep arguing with him online about stuff on Twitter. So, like, he must be Australian. He must be Australian.
He's cool, man. Actually, I haven't really been arguing with him. I've been, if anything,
well,
I've been
arguing. No, today you're just arguing with the normal marks, not the wonderful educated marks that we have here.
I knew you'd find me out, and I think of that every time I do it. I'm like, Yvette sees this, he's gonna kill me. And I can't look, dude. There's a lot of stupidity out there, and sometimes when I'm really bored, I'll start picking on these guys. But it's more the dirt sheets, dude, that are just ridiculous online. I'm sick of the bias, man. But anyway, we've also got Gruss in the house saying good morning, everyone. And Labrat is also in the house. What up, bro? What are they testing on you today? Who the hell knows? But we got Aaron Ben Shlomo, the king of 2K24. I just want to say, Aaron, if you're the king, I'm the emperor of 2K24. We played online a few days ago. And you know how it went, Aaron. Just quietly. I won't embarrass you here, though. It's all good. But also, Mike Martin's joined us, saying, "Vic, you look like Dana White,
my
apparently.
friend."
Also, Paul, aka the shooter, is in the house. Acknowledge Lola Vice's ass, yalla. She looks good, definitely. And Ronnie Donnie. I am the Don. I am him. I am here, apparently. I've never seen Ronnie Donnie before. Have you, Vet?
Yeah, Ronnie Donnie's coming in here every once in a while.
Oh, well.
Check things
first
out.
Time for me. It's a first time for me, but thank you for joining us. And it's pretty packed here, dude. I think that covers it. That's about it.
You better be sure.
I am
we
sure.
Don't want to leave anybody out.
We haven't 100%.
Okay. Well,
100% sure. But it's packed and jamming, and thank you to everyone that's joined us, man. We really much appreciate it. So jamming indeed.
Yeah. So, we are the AEW co-speed champions, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't rip through any other wrestling promotions product at a regular Revamp Wrestling. Oh.
He just came in, to be fair.
Okay. Well, that's fine. But yeah, so yeah, I think we can do this in a timely fashion. I mean, don't you? I think we're all prepared for it.
The only thing is, luckily, we're not doing Raw like we were going to plan on doing on this show too.
Right.
We'll talk about it. Thank God for that. But second of all, I mean, Deadline it felt kind of long for me. It wasn't really that long, but it felt kind of long, man.
So you're not a regular NXT watcher. That's correct.
I wouldn't say
catch a thing here and there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did watch it 2 weeks in a row, to be honest. I watched last week, watched Deadline, and of course this week's NXT as well. I catch up on it every sort of maybe 3 weeks on average, per se. Look, to be fair, how much wrestling is on television, dude? I want to watch it at times, but God damn it, man. It's just so much wrestling. You know what I mean? It's hard to keep up with everything.
Well, I mean, you're right. It is a lot, but nonetheless, it's nice to get a fresh perspective on something, because Ray and I see this kind of stuff all the time. Sometimes we don't see the forest for the trees, so if you get an outside perspective, maybe some things will stand out to you more because, you're not as dialed in on it. So if they do something that maybe I would gloss over, perhaps it would stand out to you. So I'm wondering, as we go through this, I'm wondering how many of those things there might be. Do you have something to start?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say there was actually a few wrestlers that I had no idea who the hell they were initially, dude. Which was the first for me. So when you get there, I'll point out who I just saw for the first time and noticed them. So, but yeah, let's get into some Deadline.
Let's get into some Deadline. So Deadline took place on what, Saturday night, which would have been the whatever day that was.
12th. It's the 12th. Well, it's 12th.
Well, in Australia, it's the 12th, right? So
right, but technically it's the 11th. So I'm going by the US states.
All right. So before we do anything, actually, when I went back in time, there was one thing we can all go and wish a happy birthday to the greatest luchador of all time, Rey Mysterio. It's 50 years old today.
He's turned 50. Can you believe that, man? 50 years old. Wow. And still going strong.
I can and I can't. It's hard to believe. Time is flying.
Time is
just like Rey Mysterio flew when he made his debut.
No, but seriously, it's crazy because I'm sure you're the same way, but we followed his career pretty much from over 25 years ago, man. Was the first time I saw Rey Mysterio. I mean, shit, close to 30 at this point, which is crazy, man, because where did the time go? I mean, what happened?
I don't know, but he's the king, like his name says. There's just nobody made, I think, more of a worldwide impact for luchadors than Rey Mysterio. I mean,
absolutely.
In Mexico, of course, no one can touch El Santo, but I mean, Rey was so young when he got out of Mexico. He came to the US in his teens and never looked back. So he had that global popularity.
That's true, man. Absolutely. And they call him a second generation wrestler, right? But technically, he learned from his uncle. His dad wasn't actually a wrestler or anything like that. But would you consider any family member that was an actual wrestler before you, say, and then you became a wrestler because of an uncle, say? Does that consider being second generation, or that's a little far-fetched?
Second generation for an uncle? I don't know. I guess. I mean, does it matter? Do we need to put a
I'm just wondering because I've heard him say that, so I thought I'd get what you thought, but I guess if it's family, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. So, all right, Revamp, you can cool it. All right, you can just go ahead and cool it. Anyway, so let's talk about the pre-show real quick. We'll run down the pre-show because that happened, and there was new content on it. Sarah interviews Wes. He tells Eddie Thorpe, who has been, removed from this match. He was attacked mysteriously, and he says, but Wes Lee says, look on the bright side, Eddie Thorpe, you weren't gonna win anyway. So that was kind of funny. I'll give him that one. Trick sends an update from Instagram. He is cleared to wrestle tonight because he was also attacked. Everybody just gets attacked.
Is this a thing now in NXT, Vet?
Yeah. That's just what happens. Sarah Schreiber interviews Frasium. They do their normal thing they do. Ren is on Instagram. Ren Sinclair's on Instagram. She's a little trepidatious about her match tonight until Charlie Dempsey pops in, and then all of a sudden, she peps up and puts on a brave face and acts like she's super hype. Lola does a live tweet, I guess, and says Jada's in trouble. The shiny guy Blake Howard sits with Ridge Holland and they do a promo. Then we get a new Julia promo. And then we get Sarah interviewing Sol Ruka, and then Ethan Page comes in and interrupts them. That's the pre-show.
I didn't watch the pre-show straight up, so because I wasn't expecting any matches, so I thought, but lucky you did. I don't know how you did it. There wasn't actually any matches on there, right?
No, not this time. Sometimes there are.
Okay. Lucky there wasn't.
Yep. So anyway, so here we are at the main card. They have to let us know that Javon Evans rode a roller coaster earlier in the day. and they, I don't know. And then they just had to show Ethan Page, Stephanie Vaquer, Trick Williams all arriving at the building. And we're going to start the show with the men's Survivor match.
Wow.
And that is going to be, I'm not going to go through the rules of the men's Iron Survivor, but it's some sort of weird, it's a weird combination of King of the Mountain and the 6-pack challenge or whatever you want to call it.
Dude, I don't know, man. I've never seen this type of match before, so I was a little confused at first. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So basically, it's obviously whoever has the most pins wins, but whoever you pin goes in like a sin box. I mean, in
the penalty box.
The penalty box, right?
It's like King of the Mountain. Remember King of the Mountain?
Yeah, I do, absolutely do. But with King of the Mountain, yeah, exactly. Jared would always win it. It was his thing. Didn't you have to climb ladders, but in King of the Mountain?
Yes, you had to it was a reverse ladder match where you hung the championship on the hook instead of taking it off, but you weren't allowed to attempt to hang the championship until you had scored a pinfall in the match. So you had to pin somebody first before you were eligible to hang the title. And that person that you pinned had to go in the box and whatever. So this is a...
That's what I'm going to say. Any great.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the men's Iron Survivor Challenge starts with 2 men, and then every 5 minutes, another person comes in until, the match has a total time of 25 minutes. So whoever comes in is at last has the, least advantage. Although I don't think they had anything that would sort of signify how they would, get this order. They didn't draw numbers. They didn't, it wasn't based on their wins and losses or anything. It was just, oh yeah, you guys just come out in this order. That's it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually going to ask, how does that work? What went into it, for this matchup? But you're telling me there's no reason. It's just whatever, I guess. Well, how dumb is that? I mean, that's pretty dumb.
I don't want to be last. I don't want to be
No,
last.
that's what I'm saying. Like, well, how dumb is this shit? What's the point of doing a matchup like this when I don't know? There's no one's got an advantage. No one's drawing straws or pulling out a number or some shit. I mean, come on. I mean, they got to get this shit done more better in the future, like moving forward. Is this the first time they've done this, or probably not?
No, they love this. They've been doing this for like, what has it been, like 2-3 years now? This is like,
I swear, man,
I feel like I've seen a few of these.
I kid you not, I've never seen this matchup before, man, at all. This is the first time I've actually been exposed to it.
Well, then, in that case, I think I can guess, but I mean, what'd you think of it when you were watching it?
Honestly, I thought the men's one kind of sucked, dude. Put it this way, I'm not going to get into it, but I felt the female one was much better.
You thought the female one was much better? Okay, well, yeah, but I'm just talking about the concept, though, of the match.
I don't like it, man. Unless they change it, like tweak it a little bit, where maybe everybody should start in the match, possibly. Or if you're going to have favorites and whatnot, at least do some sort of, the typical WWE thing where they have some sort of qualifying matches that determines what spot that they're on in this matchup. Do you know what I mean? But it is very confusing, though, in some ways, man, especially considering that I never really watched it before. It's kind of confusing, man.
Well, I mean, ultimately, to me, it's certainly less confusing than the King of the Mountain match, but
definitely
the thing about it is they always have the clock and the score on the screen. So I really don't know what's that confusing about that part of it. Unless you're just not a kindergartner that can't read numbers.
Let me rephrase that. That is obvious, obviously. I mean, just initially going right into it with the numbers and the randomness, that's what I mean. And do they need to go in the box? I mean, doesn't that give it too... It makes it very gimmicky, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the idea of it because it's like you have to have a punishment for taking a fall. And then that prevents you from... I mean, there's ways that you can use that to your booking advantage, but I don't know. See, I think the more they try to reinvent the wheel, I think a lot of people are not interested. But I don't know. I don't know what the average NXT fan thinks. Maybe they love Iron Survivor. I've never talked to a real person in the real world about it. I don't know what they actually think. So
hey, you could be right. I mean, absolutely. And no, look, it's not that it's confusing, but maybe. Look, I don't know. I don't really like it's just too gimmicky for me. Unless they started the match where everyone's just going crazy instead of putting anyone in a box, you know what I mean, a penalty box. Would it be more action packed, or do you think it'd be slower if you did it that way without the box, obviously?
And then it would just be the 6-pack challenge.
True. Yeah, that's true. Right. Well, why can't we just have that then?
Because we got to do something different.
I guess. I mean,
because NXT is different, Jimmy.
They're different. Jesus Christ. Whatever, man. If Shawn Michaels came up with this shit, good on you, bro.
I doubt it. So anyway, we're going to start the men's match with Javon Evans and Wes Lee, a.k.a. The Future versus the Never Should Have. And then we have Nathan Fraser comes in next. Ethan Page comes in next. We need to have the replacement for Eddie Thorpe, and we have to find out who that is. And it is none other than Obafemi the Ruler. So that's pretty interesting.
He's just huge, bro. Like, oh man, he should be absolutely, and he has been booked pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but he should be mowing down everybody by all means.
Oh, here's a question from the great RBV. Thank you for joining us this morning, RBV. He says, at me, would this gimmick match work for a local indie or just keep everything super simple? Well, you couldn't do... I wouldn't do it the way they do it with the penalty box. You might be able to do like the scramble match, where you have a time limit and it's like multiple, like a 20-minute time limit with multiple people and, most most falls at the end wins. Like that might be exciting at a local indie, but if you can't do it like this with the elaborate clock and penalty box, even if you were just do the scramble, it would probably be hard for an indie to keep track of the, to keep the people, like the people would have to keep track in their own mind. You wouldn't know that's probably why you wouldn't want to do something like this. But even if you did want to try to do like a version of this, I do think it's better to just keep it simple.
Do indies even attempt to do stuff like that, really?
I think so. I think they try to do gimmick matches and stuff, but as an attraction to, you maybe, if somebody's promoting it and they see something like some match with some weird stipulation or name, they might be like, oh, what's that? That might be interesting. I don't know. I don't really know, but yeah, I think this works better for television because you can have the graphics on.
I can see that. Well, RBV also says, seems like a penalty box might be easier to gimmick up, especially over the dog fence cages.
I mean, maybe so.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe so. But then you still have the thing about keeping the audience informed of what's, what is currently, who's ahead and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of work for the indie promotion. Let's put it that way.
For sure. Definitely.
But yeah, so Oba comes in. He actually pins two guys at once to take the lead. Like he pins both guys and the referee counts both pins at the same time to give him 2 points, like simultaneously. And Javon Evans tried to tie it at the very end, but he couldn't make it in time. So your winner of the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, Darula.
And the right man did win. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's just a beast, dude. I like what I see with Obafemi. I just hope once he gets to the main roster, and he seems like, to me, he seems like he's very close to getting there. I would have thought it would have been a better move to have him with New Day, where the New Day, when they turned on Big E, they chose Obafemi as the new big guy. Say, you don't like that, Vet? No.
No, not at all.
No New Day for Obafemi?
Yeah, like what the hell would that even? Why would he be a choice?
Well, only because of what was the other guy's name, man? That got secretly fired or whatever you want to call it. And do we even know why he got released?
I mean, there's speculation of why, but right. I don't. I didn't look up his police record or anything.
And neither have I. Still, it's kind of weird and interesting. I don't know, man. Just something to ease him in instead of having him like an Omos where he just appears and disappears for a year, but he's not Omos anyway. He's much better than that. And even if we see Omos, are we going to see him? I'm hearing stories that we might see him. Who the hell knows at this point, man? But the Nigerian boys are looking good in WWE, though. Yeah,
now, if you wanted to make a Nigerian New Day, and obviously you wouldn't call him the New Day, you would give him a gimmick like, something like that. But only if that's, I would only go with something like that if that's what they wanted to do. The New Day was sort of born out of an organic, camaraderie between the guys. Like right. Three guys that were kind of like, we're not doing anything right now, or at least nothing good, and they come together to form something. But they did that in real life. And then, whatever. Just taking three guys because they're all Nigerian or whatever and putting them in a faction. Like if the guys don't like each other, just, if they don't get along or they're not really friends or don't hang out, it's not going to work out. So.
No, you're right. That's true, man. That's true. I don't know. We'll see what happens with him in the future. But right now, he did win the matchup. And, we'll get to what happens with him a bit later on, but please continue, Vet.
All right, well, backstage we see Pillman Jr. Wait, this isn't actually backstage. This is like outside in the freezing cold. Pillman Jr. is trying to prove that he's not his dad still. Like we're still going with this whole thing. His whole gimmick is that he's not his dad since he first got here, and that's led from him being an obnoxious heel to him being like this sort of like conciliatory baby face now where he's shaking everybody's hand and trying to be a good guy. And like, you know, but the whole gimmick is he keeps saying he's not his dad, and yet he keeps bringing up his dad, and then his name is Lexus King on television, and so no one would even know like who his dad is unless they remember him, the original vignettes of him watching his dad on TV.
That's right. It's true. But does he have to look? They changed his name, right? So he can get away from his daddy's shadow. Did they not?
I'm sorry. Say that again. Repeat that question, please.
Didn't they change Brian Pillman Jr.'s name to Lexus King to actually get away from his daddy's shadow in the first place?
Well, yes, but then they're still using it because they're showing him actually literally watching the television with his dad on it as the promotion.
So why change his name then? And why is he like I think he's better than he was in AEW by a long shot, 100%. But I'm still a little confused by his, like, what is he? Like, who is he? Why is he trying to be so like eccentric? But whereas really he doesn't really have that character in real life to be that type of guy. And he's definitely not his dad. I mean, he'll never will be. They're just different personalities that he might look like his dad. But personality-wise, they're nothing alike. And I don't think he will ever be anywhere close to his dad. But hey, he's a decent worker. He can go. I just don't like his his character really. It's just like, what is he?
I don't know. He's just another guy that's not his dad.
Oh yeah, exactly.
His dad was one of a kind.
Absolutely.
But hey. Anyway, No Quarter Catch Crew warms up. Oh, and Zarya warms up too. She's curling the barricade out in the parking garage. So she's pretty tough. Okay, here we go with another gimmick match. It's NXT Underground, Jimmy. And we got to get, the mixed martial artist, Lola Vice, versus what does she play? Soccer? The soccer player, Jaida Parker?
She can kick, bro.
NXT. Yeah, there you go. That's all you need. So NXT Underground. Now, I know you've seen these matches before. So what do you think of this gimmick, the Bloodsport gimmick in NXT? You like it?
I don't know, dude. I hadn't seen an Underground match for quite a while, since the Raw days, pretty much. Look, man, if you're gonna do that shit, first of all, get rid of all those idiots around the ring tapping the damn canvas. That was really annoying the hell out of me. Why do they have to have everyone around the ring? What for? They're not lumberjacks.
Because it's a fight. It's like a fight club, Jimmy.
Come on, man.
Didn't you watch Lionheart? Don't you know?
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, they look dorky, dude. That's another thing. How fake do they look? Just, pretending they're cheating. It just doesn't look right to me, man. But so first of all, get rid of all them. Second of all, if you're gonna try to be making it like a shoot, then God damn it, have it be a shoot. That's my issue with it. You know what I mean? And sure, like it kind of looks a bit more shooty per se, but not really. Like that's the thing. So I don't know how I feel about it, man. Like, I think you got to have the right people doing this match. But in this case, we had a soccer player against an MMA fighter, legit MMA fighter. And, the right woman actually won the match via a choke. So,
well, the soccer player went to go get a brick.
And that's another thing, man. Oh, God, man. They're gimmick bricks, bro. Why do we need gimmick bricks? It looks fake even when they're holding it.
Especially if you weren't going to hit her with it. Why does it have to be a fake brick?
I showed you that video about what happened in Mexico, right? I think one time. That's a brick, like, legitly. But yeah, look, the match was fine, I guess. But again, why soccer player? Like, is a soccer player supposed to be like?
Well, she it's not that they're pushing her as that. It's just that's what she brought up when that's what they brought up when it was supposed to be like her, okay, explain who Jaida Parker is, and she has to sit down interviews and stuff, and then she talks about her.
I like her though. I like Jaida Parker, man. She's like straight off the street the way they like make her out to be, you know what I mean? but she suits that role, and she does look mean, man. She looks like she's down for a scrap. That's the one thing I do like about it. But like, was this the same show, dude? I saw like when it was live. I remember it was all over Twitter, man. I didn't see it, like it didn't come up on my feed, but apparently she was dropping the N-word to the ref like during the match.
Yeah, that was the NXT prior. That was the episode last week.
Because but did you catch that on actual television?
Well, I don't watch it on actual television, so.
Oh, well, whatever you watched it on, did you even catch it?
I didn't catch it the first time. I saw the clip later.
Yeah, neither did Ray. Neither did I.
Well, I'm watching double speed. So as fast as she said that, I couldn't even make it out.
Yeah, no, it was that went viral, dude. Absolutely viral. But I like her, man. I think she's got a future because she seems like a big bad mean, like bitch per se. You know what I mean? I kind of like that, dude.
Yeah. Well, Charles the Hammer's in the house, so let's all say hello to Charles the Hammer.
What's up, Hammer?
Yeah. So anyway, the back fist. Lola hits her back fist and then puts some choke on Jaida, and that's a win for Lola Vice. So there you go. Take that, soccer player.
At least she sold it really well, though. It looked like she was out, dude. When she let go, she just dropped, literally. Mm-hmm. Oh, look who's lurking.
Hey, John Enright working while lurking and vice versa. What's up, John? Thanks for showing up.
And happy birthday to his son, Jacob, just quietly.
Hey, happy birthday, Jacob.
Which was a few days ago now, but still, I thought I'd say it right on the air.
Right. And happy birthday to us because back on Deadline, Stephanie was doing some Stevie Richards fitness to warm up. So
she sure was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's right. And then Axiom tells Nathan Fraser, because of course Nathan Fraser was part of the Iron Survivor Challenge, so he's beat up from that. And Axiom says, "Don't worry, he's basically saying he'll carry tonight because his partner's fucked up." And that's now. It's the no quarter catch crew, that being Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne versus Frasium here. As a tag team match,
it was all right. I mean,
I got issues. As an exciting match, these guys have a habit of putting on the most exciting match because I think the story has worked for them. The story of these guys who are like keep having like these misunderstandings and bickering like a married couple and all this stuff, and everybody thinks,
that's the thing.
Oh, man. This is going to be it. They're going to lose the title tonight. They're going to break up. They're going to lose the title. A bunch of stuff is going to happen, and it doesn't, and it keeps going. And I think even though they're having an exciting match, moves wise in the ring, but I also think that psychology of everybody having that story in the back of their mind gets them invested in the near falls and stuff because they just think that it's a wrap on this team. And then they end up, coming out on top. So,
what's funny about these two, first of all, I can't help but always think of Axiom as a kid. I just can't help it. You know what I mean? And second of all, it is like they're married, dude. Like, even like, I mean, do these guys need to get a room or something? I mean, what's going on? It feels like Days of Our Lives every time there's a segment with these two. And what sort of trips me out, isn't Axiom supposed to be from Madrid, Spain, correct?
He's from some Spain. I don't know exactly what city he's from.
Well, he sounds like he's from England, first of all, suddenly. Like he's got some elegant English kind of accent while talking to Fraser. Maybe Fraser, maybe he's hanging around Fraser too much, and now he sounds like him. But Axiom almost, I like him, but he kind of offends me with the way he talks and just the shit he says. It's like, what makes him, think he knows everything? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, he sort of had a math gimmick, when he first got introduced.
I do like his mask. Though.
I don't agree. I don't agree with everything that you said. I think that not only do I think of A Kid not because he reminds me of A-Kid still, but because he's so much better now than he was when he was A-Kid.
It's true.
And then it makes me think back like, man, he's come a long way because whoever puts a mask on and gets more charisma, like it just doesn't happen. But somehow he did. And he does
have some to him.
He's good. He's good at everything. He's good in these little backstage things. He's good in the ring. He doesn't just flip like most of the guys his size do. He like in this match in particular, the catch crew is their gimmick is their wrestlers.
Right.
And he's wrestling them. He's out wrestling them. You know, like
it was literally a full-blown wrestling match in the middle of the ring, like it was an amateur match, like legitly. Even reversing gator rolls and all sorts of shit. Like, I mean, yeah, that did impress me. And it was more Fraser doing the high-flying stuff, if anything, which is funny. But the other thing about Axiom, like, he reminds me, he can be WWE's next Ricochet and maybe even be better than Ricochet if he's not already better than Ricochet in many ways. I mean, let's be honest, he's bigger, like as in taller. I mean, I would say so, right? I mean, he is. His mask looks cooler than even Prince Puma's, even though it kind of reminds me of that a little bit for whatever reason, even though he doesn't look like an animal, but you get where I'm coming from. But yeah, look, he does have something to it. And I'm glad he's not A-Kid anymore. That's for sure. And like you said, since back then, it's night and day.
I didn't think anything of A-Kid. I didn't. I just didn't. I watch his match and I just be like, okay. Well, number one, the name's stupid. And number two, I just don't care. But with Axiom, it was kind of like, okay, he's getting a repackage here. And at first, nothing amazing. But I think over time, he's sort of like, he's had like a sort of like a, you know, he's grown on you slowly, like moss. At least for me.
Do that. I do like him. I don't hate him. He does have something about him, definitely, man.
And I think he has the most potential to get over, you know, in a sort of like a high mid role on Raw or SmackDown, because he can carry off those things that WWE likes, like on the microphone, which most people that do a masked athletic guy, a masked athletic small guy gimmick are not usually looked at as good mic dudes. That's why they give him the mask and tell him to flip to be exciting. But he can do all of that, and he can also be a good promo if he has to. He can be believable. I think the people believe in him, or I think they will. The question is, can WWE present him to the normal audience with the vision that I see? They couldn't do it even with Ricochet. I had a vision for Ricochet. They couldn't see it. I really don't think they're going to see Axiom, but at least with this Nathan Fraser thing, as corny, and I do agree that everything that they do is childish and corny, but like there could be a more grown-up version of that if they had better writers writing it. So anyway, that's just a long way to say. But like, for example, you had, like we talked about him out wrestling the wrestlers, but then meanwhile, Nathan Fraser comes in the ring and he's taped up from the first match. He's got his ribs taped, but for a double team move, he still runs it back and forth and hits the ropes like 3 times before he does a move. So he's injuring his own ribs that's his level of psychology. I don't see it with Fraser. He's of the Seth Rollins school, literally.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, that's what's going to carry him. The fact that he's a Seth Rollins guy, not so much that he's anything special himself.
He's fast though, dude. He can go though in terms of speed. Like you said, I mean, he flies. But what tripped me out about Fraser, man, he looked legitly banged up as we go on with the show and onto NXT after this. And I'm thinking, did he really do that to himself, dude? For real?
I guess. Wait.
Wow. Slow down, man.
Whoa, wait a minute. My friend Mike Martin, Vet's telling us he's better than WWE. What? Are you telling me I'm not? Are you telling me I'm not better? What's wrong with you? You know damn well I'm better than them. Quit marking out. You're the one that said watch it when I called you marks, and now you're marking out. Don't mark out.
Well,
Charles had a vision for Ricochet too.
Yeah, actually, Charles, man, I saw what you wrote on one of our shows last week in the comments about Kofi Kingston's family. Yeah, well, he had a vision too. He mentioned something about Kofi in the comments, which got me intrigued. Apparently, the family is a bit of a like a bit too much sometimes.
I can see. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if hey, look, if I'm not better than the WWE, go listen to their official. Go listen to After the Bell with Corey Graves. How about that?
Is that still around?
I doubt it. Yeah. But anyway, Out the Mud comes out to ringside for some reason. And they get Nathan Fraser gets overhead suplexed onto them, and then they get ejected. So that was weird.
What was up with that? Yeah, that was weird. I like those two guys though, man. Those two kids are huge, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's apparently they don't care because these guys are not being they're pushing Jaida Parker more, even though they put her with them, but then they're not allowed to. Yeah.
So they don't interact anymore. It's like that never was a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so despite the crazy action that happens in this match. Total disregard for the 5-second tag rule, and Axiom hitting a missile drop kick on his own partner accidentally. They still pick up the win when Axiom gets an inside cradle on Miles Bourne. So your winners and still NXT Tag Team Champions, Frazium.
Yeah. Did they call him officially Frazium, or is that just your nickname for him, Vet?
Actually, I was calling them Frazium for ever since they teamed up. And then in the past few months, WWE started calling them Fraxium.
How can they not see Frazium, dude? Honestly, it's perfect.
Maybe they just like the word Fraxium, but to me, that's Axiom's whole name in there. It's not fair to Nathan. You got to give him a little something, so give the phrase instead. That was my thinking. But what do I know?
Absolutely,
I'm not better than WWE, so what the hell do I know?
According to Aaron Ben Shlomo, apparently you are.
Oh well, a man of culture and brilliance.
You're funny, man. Oh man.
Hey, speaking of culture, Sol Ruka doing handstand push-ups to warm up.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, man. When I first saw her, I wasn't that impressed with her initially. Boy, has she changed since the last time I've watched her, man. She's on another level now, man. Anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, she's really impressing me now, dude.
All right, Julia's running the steps to warm up. Everybody look at her. And then you have Sarah with Javon, and she's interviewing him. And then Wesley comes up, and Wesley is mad at him for not being depressed about losing the Iron Survivor match. And he slaps Javon. Like, how dare you not be sad for being a loser?
Dude, can I ask you something actually, man? You know now what goes through my mind when I see Wesley? I don't know when he cut his hair, but who does he remind you of just by looking at him right now? I'm telling you, it's easy. Once I say it, you'll be like, okay, I see it. Or you're gonna bury me.
I'm thinking I get where you're going, but I don't know who you're thinking of.
All right. The Acclaimed, dude. Think about it. Bowens. He reminds me of Bowens now, dude.
Oh, yeah. If you left Bowens in the dryer too long, it'd be Wesley.
Yeah, because he's shrunk. But no shit, man. Now that he cut his hair, he really looks like him, dude. And sort of threw me off. I'm like, damn. Why is he like a smaller version of Bowens? But maybe he should have kept his hair, dude. Just to, make him stand out in a different way. Because now I just can't get that out of my mind.
Well, all it took was a haircut. He trimmed the broccoli cut down, and now he just has a regular cut. So,
well, like Sir Jam says in the chat, where's Lee should be in TNA? Should we have him back as a rascal?
Well, he fought them violently here in NXT, so It wouldn't make sense, but whatever. You know, how many times does Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fight? So,
yeah, well, I guess that's true.
Yeah, Ridge Holland versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship.
Wow, dude. Oh man, can I ask you something, dude, about this match? You know the spot where he went over the rope and got his head caught, you know, like
the hangman spot.
The hangman spot. Do you
not named after Adam Page in any fashion. That's just what they call that spot. You really don't see that very often these days. That's some old school stuff.
But do you think that was meant to happen or that was by accident, in your opinion?
No, it was meant to happen. Are you serious? That's a real question?
No, why I'm asking that, why didn't the heel actually move forward, though? Shouldn't the heel actually attack? Instead, Ridge Holland just sat there, just watching, not do nothing. And then the match pretty much ended not long after that. That's my problem with it.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they pulled off the psychology of the spot.
No, they didn't.
But yeah, that's actually a tricky spot to do. So you wouldn't do it accidentally. You're not just going to accidentally do the hangman. You have to go through head first, and you have to pull the ropes on yourself. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. But I think I think the reason that he didn't do anything after that is because he wanted the visual to sink in of Trick caught in the ropes, and you know.
Yeah, but if it's a title match, you want to do anything to become champion, right? I mean,
you can't do it, but you can't do anything anyway. He's stuck in the ropes. So
I guess, but if this was back in the 80s, man, it would have been different. But
well, I mean, you could, like, for example, he could have waited, you know, processed the situation, went to go, but what else is he gonna do? Like, if he's gonna like get a weapon or something, he'll get disqualified. So he can't do that. He can't beat him in the ropes. So like all he's going to do is just punch him some more. And then the referee's going to say, hey, get off him or whatever. And if he doesn't do it, he'll get disqualified. So, I mean, it's just there to let you know, like the heel can do something like that. And he can just say, look what happened. Look at this idiot. He's stuck in the ropes now.
I guess, man, but I'm with Gruss saying the heel should always attack, and I agree with that, man. I just feel like, but it's nothing. It's no big deal, but it just makes him look stupid considering how the match ends up going, because within 3 minutes, it was over from that spot.
Yeah, well, that spot is Trick hitting the trick knee and beating Ridge Holland.
Whoop that Trick, man. Trick is. Do you think it's time for Trick to go up to the main roster at this point? Or, I mean, he has been on the main roster here and there. You know, they're just one-offs for whatever reason. But I feel like he's been, overcooked now in NXT for, a bit too long.
I mean, he's working with Ridge Holland, so.
And Ridge, man, he's dangerous, dude. I don't know if ever since the Big E incident, man, and just he's still a bit rough on the edges. And I guess that's why he's back in NXT. He's jacked as hell, though.
Yeah, he looks great and everything, but I mean, Charles is saying the same thing I'm thinking. Like, okay, if he goes on there, what is he going to do? He's kind of big fish in small pond in NXT, but where do you put him now? Like with all the stuff that they got going on these shows.
Are we talking about who are we talking about now? Is in Ridge or Trick?
Talking about Trick. You said is it time for him to go up? And Charles said to do what? And that's basically my thought. I don't know what he would do right now.
And that's what sucks. Again, how WWE they bring these guys up and then have no idea what to do with him anyway, man. And that's no pun intended, the tricky situation about bringing these guys up. But again, and that's probably what it is. That's exactly what it is. They don't know what to do, so let's just keep him over here for as long as possible. And when the time comes, sure, we'll bring him up. I guess we'll see, man. But I think he'd be good, like Revamp said, maybe on a SmackDown, especially after this so-called transfer. Don't be surprised if he does move up during the so-called transfer.
Well, I thought Carmelo Hayes was gonna face Penta or possibly.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. We'll see. Hey, laugh at me now, but we'll see what happens come Friday. But someone brought up a good name actually when I was online. It wasn't Hikuleo. No one's talking Hikuleo, and I doubt it's Hikuleo. And if it's not Penta, someone fucking what was it, man? It was obvious too, man. It was someone that came back from injury. But again, it doesn't make sense because they said it's someone they just signed. So we'll see. The thing about WWE though, they were aware that everyone's gonna think it's Penta, right? Because most people are thinking that. And if they don't deliver that, say, it's gonna sort of Miro. No, Aaron. No way. WWE won't even touch Miro ever again, in my opinion. I think they were gonna wipe their hands with him. See you later. He's just too much of a complainer. So if it's not Penta, I don't know. They're setting themselves up for disappointment, in my opinion, with the fan base all speculating.
Well, get ready to be disappointed. So
we'll see.
So Ethan Page gets TMZ'd after the show, and he's very sad and dejected. And, as you can imagine, he would be. He's running out of chances. And then we get Sarah and Ava. They're talking. Ava's talking about some stuff she's got cooking up, and then Tiffany Stratton walks in. And could it be Tiffy time in New Year's Eve? Is she going to waste her money in the bank on a championship she already left behind?
Absolutely not. Jesus. Lab rat Lance, I know why he please no. Let's not go there.
All right. Well, main event time. It's the women's survivor match. We're starting with Julia and Ren Sinclair. Then afterwards we get Saul, then Zarya, then Stephanie. So I'm not that happy with the fact that we get less Stephanie time. Maybe she could have just started with Julia and we could have looked at them both for the whole 25 minutes, but well, at least we got Julia for 25. She does end up coming out on top. No point in recapping the match. 25 minutes of looking at Julia. So, you got to
admit though, Ruka's Sasuke moonsault, the great Sasuke moonsault, was pretty good, dude. You know what's funny though? People were like, people shitting on people online, funny enough, about some people didn't know what that move was, obviously, right? They didn't know who the hell the great Sasuke was. But people were like, oh, duh, it's a great Sasuke, blah, 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 blah. And everyone's just shitting on this poor guy for not knowing what the move is. But it's literally his move, and she done that really good, man. And even that weird, I don't even know what to call it, man. She jumped off the rope, kind of done it. It was like a stunner, but not a stunner, but it was like a double.
Oh, the soul snatcher. Yeah, it's just her it's her shooting star RKO.
That's pretty cool,
that's
dude.
Basically how you would describe the move, yes.
That's pretty impressive, man. I mean, she's athletically, she's on a different level to a lot of these women, dude, even on the main roster.
Yeah. What is Revamp Wrestling's problem? What is this whole chat's problem today? You guys are surly today. You're trying to get timed out? Don't make me expose you, Revamped, okay? Don't make me expose you. I know. Okay? Don't make me expose you. Don't be talking about Julia like that. She's not overrated. Okay? She's not even close to overrated. She's underrated. So let's let that thing straight. And let's get straight to NXT from last night on the CW, where they recap all of Deadline. And then, hey, look who's here. Starting off the show, Julia. Julia's here. Time for a promo. Good pronunciation on her promo. She's definitely.
I was going to say that. Out of all the Japanese wrestlers, she's probably the best one in terms of speaking English. I'll say that.
Yeah. So anyway, but she does get interrupted by Dark Roxanne and Dark Cora. Or Sneaky Cora. Sneaky. She's coming up from the other side of the ring with a microphone. So not that sneaky because she's talking on a microphone, but she was trying to sneak up behind her. And then they show up on the video screen that Stephanie has been hurt backstage. And how dare they? Whoever did that. I assume it was those two. And And then here comes Kalani Jordan trying to get the rub by chasing off the heels. And we Ray and I have noticed that in a desperate attempt to get Kalani Jordan over, they just put her with the people that are actually good, and she's trying to like get the rub off of that, or they're trying to get her the rub off that.
Is it working though?
Oh no.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what else is actually we'll get there, and I'll tell you what I think about that. I think it's next, as a matter of fact. But I didn't mind this segment. Like I said, I was more impressed with Julia's English pronunciation. I was like, wow, for a Japanese girl, she is half Italian. I think she was born in the UK initially too, Vet, but not that she grew up there or even went to school there. Or
not
like
enough
that,
to influence your speech.
No. Anyway. Absolutely not. Definitely not.
Right.
But Julia's a legend. Anyone? When I say legend, let me rephrase that. She was already making a big deal, long before WWE, and she hasn't even been in the business for really that long when you think about it, dude. I think she's only been wrestling for like 8 years, tops, as a matter of fact.
Something like that, yeah.
And when you think about it, look how quick she's progressed within those 8 years, man. Yeah, really, it's true.
So some of these people have been here a lot longer.
It's true, dude, and it's sad that she can outshine these, other wrestlers, man. I mean, Revamp, go check her out before WWE. You'd be impressed even then.
Well, anyway, what's next is Tony D'Angelo telling Paige to get over it. And he's feeling generous, so he's gonna, because Paige is still just sitting on the couch like
depressed and shit. Next to Lexi King. Is that the AEW couch right there? I mean,
probably so.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Let's be real here, man. Was he lying? I mean, it is a step down. After going from NXT champion, why should he go for the North American Championship?
Well, he says that, and then Tony's like, "Oh, well, then I'll just put it up for everybody else." And then he's like, "Wait, no, I changed my mind. Now I want it."
Because everyone else is like in the room.
Yeah, okay, why would that make you care? Did he just not want to seem like, oh yeah, I just don't want to accept it right now, but okay. All right, whatever. Javon Evans makes his entrance, and then we see Charlie Dempsey talking to Pillman first, and then he goes and talks to the crew, and then OTM steps up to the crew. So now we've got this whole thing with OTM and the no quarter catch crew gonna happen again. Okay. Now it's time for Wes Lee versus Javon Evans. These guys start with some boxing. You know what's funny about that? When we had the personal issue between Zachary Wentz and Wes Lee, they started with flips.
Flips ahoy, man. What are you talking about?
These guys barely know each other, and they just started throwing hands. Like,
it's personal, and they don't even know.
What is that about?
Maybe they saw what Rollins and Punk did on Raw this past week.
Yeah,
I mean, not the week before. Sorry, not this one, but the week before that, with those stupid ass punches, dude. I'm still laughing, but anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah. So Javon Evans kicks out of the literal flip. That's what I call the cardiac kick that Wesley does. No one kicks out of that. The announcers put it over. He won the North American Championship with that move. So, yeah. So, yeah, Javon Evans goes on and hits the twisty splash for the win. Sorry, Wes. Your services are no longer needed. We've got a better you now.
He's a much better dude. Do you think they're actually cooling off Wesley a bit? It feels like it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I think whoever was enamored with him has sort of, they've seen the light a little bit, or they just don't know what else to do.
Do you think, look, I could be way off. I don't know the guy at all, but he comes across as the type of guy that, has a sort of attitude problems if shit doesn't go his way. Like he'd cry about it and just blah, blah, blah. It's just his demeanor, you know what I mean? He looks like he's always got booby face. these days, bro.
Yeah, well, he does have just a regularly scrunched face. That's just genetics. But
Cool.
yeah, but on top of that, yeah, yeah, I don't actually know what he's like as a person. I don't have a gauge of his character. I never heard any stories. I've never met him. I don't know. So
yeah, well, same here.
I'm only judging him as an on-screen character. I don't, it's nothing personal. He just makes me want to not watch. That's all.
He should just go back to TNA and just rascal it. He can be little again.
Yeah.
Why not?
Go on the treehouse and.
Yeah, that's stupid, dude. Anyway.
All right. So Frasium is discussing, all that they've been through, and they learn some important, valuable life lessons, and they're going to grow together as friends and champions. So.
And now exciting. At this point, Fraser looks absolutely like he's been to hell and back, dude. He's got the tissues in his nose. He looks bruised up on his face, bro. Legit. I don't remember seeing the black eye the night before, but here we are. He's got a black eye, and even that looks legit. That didn't even look like makeup, dude. So whatever he was doing, God damn it, man. Like, just chill. Like, chill, and slow down, man. And Axiom, he's got such an elegant accent, bro. It's kind of it kind of makes me laugh, man. I mean, I kind of like his accent. I'm just confused if he's from Madrid or is he from London. That's the only thing that confuses me, because he starts talking like he says "lad," and like, you know what I mean. He does a lot of English terminologies, but vámonos, Axiom.
Yes, well, I don't know if you know this, Jimmy, but no matter where you're from, you can talk however you want. So
that's a fair call too. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Josh Briggs and this guy from Noah, Inamura, they have a package on these guys brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's another. I don't know if these spots are a rib. But yeah. So they have this package, and this guy's been hanging around NXT for a while lately. So I guess does this count as his excursion? I don't know, but
it must be. He comes from Noah, doesn't he?
Yeah, but at the same time, they're not really using him on TV. I think the only time he's even been in the ring yet was when they had this big ass like tag team battle royal thing. So it was just a bunch of guys in there just flopping around or whatever. And if he has anything, I couldn't see it. They're not really doing anything with them as a team except for this. This is the first time they've done anything significant other than them just standing around backstage and Josh Briggs saying, "Hey, this is that guy I met in Japan."
Yeah. And you know what's even funnier, right? That I took from this promo? The fact that he says, yeah, like, we have communication issues, but the whole time the Japanese wrestler was talking in English. So it's like, what communication issue?
Right. But and they put subtitles on it. So that's also insulting. Like, we can't understand what he's saying. So they have to put subtitles even though he's speaking English. That's always messed up. But
also, I got Joya vibes from these two for some weird ass reason, dude. Can we get a little Joya?
Sarah wants an update on Stephanie's condition. So she goes to ask Julia, and Julia yells at her in Japanese for 30 seconds. And then Kalani Jordan says, I think what she's trying to say, and then is completely boring and vanilla like she usually is.
You don't like it?
Go ahead,
Not
Jimmy.
At all, no, I was going to say, you don't like Kalani Jordan?
No, no.
She looks good, but yeah, she's pretty plain.
Sol Ruka and Zarya are hanging out, and then they meet the Meta Girls. I assume this is their meeting because I don't recall them meeting before, but yeah.
You tell me. Did they meet before? No, they didn't meet before. This was the first time. I mean, I'm down for this match, though. I love Lash Legend, just quietly.
Did they want to have the match between like a tag team match, or did they just want to have Lash versus Zarya?
Honestly, they never really specified from what I remember. They were just saying, oh, I'm going to kick your ass and back and forth and blah, blah, blah. And pretty much just typical girl shit, man.
All right, next is the match of Honk and Honk versus In the Mud.
Wait a minute. Wait. You mean
what?
High Energy from WCW?
You mean High Voltage from
High voltage. Sorry.
That's if High Voltage didn't work out, because those guys were jacked. They may have been the only guys that are more jacked than Sir Jam, but these guys are just two fat trucker looking guys.
Hank and Tank. I had High Voltage vibes straight off the bat, except obviously they're not in shape as High Voltage was. But damn it, they give me the same
and they're
vibe.
Dressed like mechanics.
They're just like mechanics, but had the same energy as High Voltage. Weird.
And meanwhile, In the Mud is the guys that are not out the mud,
which doesn't make sense. And the weird thing is, Hank and Tank won this damn match. What do they see in these guys, man? Seriously,
Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
But it's okay. No matter what, they're all still friends because they shake hands, sportsmanship. That's the important thing.
Cold-blooded Fat Spirit Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Public Enemy, Zane. They remind me of Public Enemy also. I did get that vibe.
White Public
That's
Enemy?
true, man. But they are white Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
Maybe he's talking about In the Mud. Is In the Mud white or no? Because they're not white. I don't know.
But technically, they're Mexicans, aren't they? Technically,
I don't know.
Well, one of them is.
Who cares? This is over. We're talking about Obafemi now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He comes out. He starts just saying stuff. Trick Williams comes out. Then Eddie Thorpe comes out. And he says the line. And I know DJ Lingo loved this. Eddie Thorpe says the line, "Me and my people have been through enough."
I laughed at that, man. What does that even mean, man? I'm thinking, did he really say that shit?
Yeah. You know what it means.
I know exactly what it means. And also I want to ask you, where did he just come up from like this, suddenly being put in this main event picture, dude?
I don't know. I mean, I know because I watched it, but I don't know how to explain to you in a way that will make any sense or help you understand.
So he just came out of nowhere, basically?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But not really. He's kind of been around doing stuff.
Oh,
yeah. But
that doesn't matter. Don't worry. I'll figure it out.
yeah. So where are we at? Oh, yeah. So he comes out there. He thinks that Obafemi is the one that took him out and cost him his spot in the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Sure.
And Oba just is like, really? And then continues to ignore him. So he just stands there while Oba and Trick do their little back and forth thing. And then as soon as Oba finally leaves, then Eddie decides to step up. And then, he waits. He tries to run Trick down. And then Trick, hits him with a few choice words and a babyface sucker punch. So,
sucker. I mean, is it time for Trick to lose his championship soon?
To Eddie Thorpe?
I doubt that. No way. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I can't see it happening. But then again, I'm still confused why he's here. So, whatever the case, cool. But we'll see what happens, man. But that was a quick NXT roundup. Actually, we did this in under like an hour and 30, dude. We already did it. We are still the speed champions.
Yeah, we're not done yet. So
let's
not get ahead of
us. No. Hang on a minute. I thought we were for a minute, but we're not done. You're right. Don't worry. My bad. For a second, I thought that was the end, dude.
Not quite. I understand you wanting it to be the end. I do too.
No.
But we gotta at least give the people their due diligence here. So
I am a little tired, just quietly. So
that's fine. We'll get you to bed real quick. This might do it. Fatal Influence. There, put anybody to sleep.
Yeah.
They have a little meeting that doesn't last long though, so you probably didn't get a chance to nod off. But then we get Dark Paxum, and
that's right,
Gigi Dolan. And then they run into Izzy Dame they run into Izzy Dame backstage, and then Sean Spears and his weird crew go up to her and say like, hey, I like what you're doing. She's like, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't listening. Fatal Influence makes their entrance, and then we get the tag team match of How dare you speedrun Next Level? Hey, if you have time to comment, you could co-host.
Yeah.
So, we get a G-Pax versus RBB Nix. Fallon Henley pushes Paxum Tately off the top rope, and she gets beat. And then Fatal Influence gives everybody a beatdown until Shotzi makes her big return to save her friends Paxum and Gigi, who we've all known was her friends all along because they've totally all been friends on TV all the time.
She's been off television now for a long time, dude. Does this mean now she's going to stay in NXT and I guess forget Shotzi ever going back to the main roster at this point?
Maybe.
Well, you know, to be fair, Shotzi was never the greatest worker. I mean, she was pretty bad for a long time.
You don't you think?
I mean, yeah, that's an understatement, dude. And if anyone knows how to hurt themselves, it's Shotzi. Let alone others. But you know what I mean? She's just so careless. But they do like her, and I guess she does have a not bad gimmick, whatever you want to call it. And people do love her, so why not keep her around? Do you know if her sister's all right?
I haven't heard of anything bad, so I guess she's recovering.
Okay, cool. No, because I was wondering, man, because you know she was you know, fighting cancer, obviously, which kind of sucks, and that's why she, you know, shaved her hair, man, in the first place.
Yep. Well, it's back now.
It's back.
Her hair is back. And she's back. So we'll see what happens. Okay, now back to Frasium, actually. Now, if you're all familiar, it's the holiday season, and you may all be familiar with the O. Henry story, Gift of the Magi, which is an ironic tale about a loving husband and wife who struggle to make ends meet, but they both make a big sacrifice so that they can get a gift for the other one. And
what are you alluding to here, Vet?
It turns out that, yes, it turns out that, you know, now because they both gave up something of theirs to get a present for the other one, now each other's present is invalidated because they needed the thing that they gave up to use the present that the other person got them. So it's a wonderful tale of irony and love and the holiday spirit and everything. So if you're not familiar with that story, it's kind of like what happened here, where both Nathan Fraser and Axiom separately went to Ava to get each other something, and Axiom wants to take on Obafemi for what he did to Nathan Fraser. And Nathan Fraser wanted to get a tag team title match for, you know, Axiom to do whatever. So now Axiom's the one that's got to do double duty next week.
Are we getting a love story between these two eventually? Is that what's happening? I'm not hating on it. It'd be funny if they do go there, though, in some ways. I mean, it'd be kind of entertaining, wouldn't it? I think.
Isn't this why we tune in to see what's going to happen next?
I guess. I'm telling you, dude, they're literally the Days of Our Lives team of NXT, bro. They're going all out with this so-called story arc between these two. It's kind of amusing, though. But, I mean, love's in the air, Vet. I mean, see what happens in February. Maybe they pull the trigger.
All right. So now Ethan Page and Tony D'Angelo walk, and then we go to break, and then we have our North American Championship match. Tony D'Angelo wins clean.
That's right. Ethan
Not
Page,
much else to
man.
say about that.
Can I just say one thing before the match actually started? I noticed the graphics right before. NXT need to change the damn graphics, dude. First of all, everyone's legs looks very small and weird. Dude, did you notice they had Ethan Page's hair, like his legs be hairy as fuck, dude? Like, why? Did you notice that? Pay attention next time, right, to the graphic, and especially Ethan Page. I'm telling you, dude, they put all this hair on his legs for whatever reason. I couldn't help but notice that shit. But the graphics are too weird, man. It kind of makes them look kind of off, in my opinion. But where do we go with Ethan Page at this point, dude?
I don't know. I would have never hired him, but that's It's not my. It wasn't my choice. Here he is. But yeah,
they said it, lingo.
They went. There was nowhere else to go. He won the NXT Championship right after he got there. So
pretty quick too, right?
There's nothing else you can do there unless he was just doing a quick NXT stopover and then going on to Raw or SmackDown.
You think they'll elevate him to the main roster, or do you think?
Well, I don't know if they will, but I'm just saying if that's how you're going to bring him in, then what else could you do?
Fair call. I think he's going to be.
How long can you have this guy talking about how long he's been a wrestler, only to just stay in NXT? Everybody should know that their clock is ticking. It's like, no. I don't want a main event fucking Deadline. I want a main event WrestleMania. Like, I can't be down here with you scrubs. That should be his attitude, and that seems like it is his attitude. But now he's talking about, I don't want to take a North American Championship match because it's a step down. Well, then you shouldn't even want an NXT title rematch because it's a step down. You need to be stepping up.
I agree, man, 100%. But I feel like if they do elevate him to the main roster, he's going to be nothing but a glorified jobber, dude.
Yeah. Of course. Well, that's all he's ever been, which is why he's in NXT now. So, but here's something. Brian Pillman Jr., right? Now he's looking to Ryan Leaf for advice. Yes, famous NFL quarterback draft bust Ryan Leaf. That's who I'm going to go to for advice.
But don't go to Hangman Adam Page, right?
No. I don't get it.
What the hell, man? What's up? Again, I want to know what this endgame is with Lexi King at this point. Asking everybody for advice about what he should be doing and whatnot. I mean, I find this a bit lazy, dude. Can't we do something better with him at this point?
Well, maybe. Maybe we'll do something better, as in we'll give him a Heritage Cup championship match, or Charlie Dempsey will. Unless, I mean, that is, of course, conditionally if he's able to last through one workout with him.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I think Charlie Dempsey's got actually a big future ahead, man. I know he's Regal's son, and they probably want to be careful because, nepotism runs wild, brother. Right? But I think he's actually got a lot of potential, dude. Except he kind of looks like a young Kenny Omega a little bit.
I mean, just because he has blonde, kind of curly hair, he looks like Kenny Omega.
But I'm talking like
all white people look alike.
Nah, come on. I mean, seriously. But I'm being serious. He kind of does have that resemblance. His face too. I'm not gonna. I mean, does he really look like a Regal to you?
No.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with him. But I actually do think he's got a future ahead of him. No doubt about it. If they make him a little more serious.
All right, well, that's that, and it's we'll see if he gets more serious. But now it's time for the main event. We get Dark Roxanne and Dark Cora. They make their entrance, but then Ethan Page gets TMZ'd again, leaving the building, and the sad sack just takes his rolling case just in his wrestling gear and just walks through the parking lot, which to anybody that wouldn't know, it just looks like a guy in his underwear walking through the parking lot at night with a suitcase.
That's weird. Let's be honest, that he's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's so sad he can't even get dressed.
Fucking bum. Seriously, go and buy some pants.
Yeah. All right, now back to the main event. Julia is making her entrance. She gets jumped. And so the heels jump her there, and then Kalani comes out, and then they have the match, and then yada, yada, yada. Look at her, look at her, look at her. Cora Jade picks up the win for the team. Any thoughts on this main event, Jimmy?
What's with the NXT and everybody getting jumped all the time, dude?
Well, I guess because it's a developmental training center, they need to prepare you like... Yeah, if you go up, you're gonna get jumped all the time. So you might as well get used to it now. Wow. Yeah,
I see.
It's all part of the training. It's all part of the training.
I'm laughing at his comment because his pants apparently were in Ethan Page's suitcase as he's walking off.
It would be funny if he just left him on that same couch he was sitting on when Tony D'Angelo gave him the title shot.
He took him off, just left him there. Oh man, this show is funny in some ways, dude. But you know what, Todd, right? Because NXT. Thank you, Todd. But you know what? It's kind of a more of a amusing watch than AEW these days. I'm not gonna lie. And when I say amusing, you know, you can get a good laugh out of this show sometimes, man. There's no continue.
I was just gonna say, I think if I could sum it up, it would be like NXT is written for children and AEW is written by children.
I don't know what's worse.
I don't either. They're both bad in different ways. Like some things I'll watch and I'll be like, I'm sorry, are these all adults? And then other stuff I watch and I'll be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like there's too much discrepancy in between all the creative. There's no I don't know. There's no uniformity in the sense of like, man, okay, this is our vision, this is our goal. You know, 1 week, and I'm just talking about wrestling now. Don't even break it down by company. 1 week it'll seem like, okay, they're going this way with this, like, okay, and then like a couple months down the line they'll do something similar, like they'll rehash something, but they'll do it differently. Like they'll just, you know, one guy, you know, people will just get jumped and beaten up all the time, and they'll get caught on camera doing it, and it's just like, all right, well, you guys are going to have a match now. And then other people will be like, you know, hey, you can't do that. You're fined and suspended. There's no consistency in any of this. So I don't know.
But like I said, man, but it's funny. I don't know what's worse, you know, for children or by children. But at least this show can, you know, it's kind of amusing. And you know what? There's actually story arcs going on. Whether it's messy or not, that's one thing. But at least there's some sort of, you know, arc going on. Whereas
we didn't even get our favorite arc this week of Karate Carmen and Ashanti the Adonis, and they're sort of like, and the love triangle with Nikita Lyons, like none of that this week.
Oh man, Nikita Lyons, man, I know everybody loves her, right? But the more she shakes her booty online, the more she's not going to really get pushed. I think they're going to like eventually, like I haven't seen too much of a lady. I know she's come back from injury and whatnot, and she's doing shit. But like, all she does is shake her ass, bro. And I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, but like, if that's what you want to do,
sometimes she does kickboxing though.
Oh yeah, kickboxing.
And she can't help it if her ass shakes during that. That's just happenstance. But I mean,
you know, it's pretty.
Do they have any more video? Does she make any more videos of her in the booth spitting?
I haven't seen that, but did she spit really?
Oh, well, come on, man. Her father was a musician that she never told us who they were, apparently.
Ooh, okay, interesting. Well, no, all I see is a fucking backside dude just pouncing around all the time, man. That's all she posts these days, man. Like I said, I'm not complaining, but, you know, I think maybe she should just relax a little bit if she wants to get more of a push in WWE, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Well, that was it. That was your NXT for January 10th. I mean December 10th, 2024. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still a little time lagged when I jump back and forth between the past and the future, and
that makes two of us, bro. Don't worry. And you know, to be fair, we've busted our balls this week for this very network, but
and we're not done.
And we're not. Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a long week, actually, man. This week.
Technically, sure. I'm a little bit done, but you still got Smack Attack at least, and then.
Yeah, but technically, that's like. I know we're like. For me, it's Thursday, right now, and I know it's Wednesday for you, but technically, that's on a Saturday. You know what I mean? But well, yeah, that is this week.
Or a Sunday for you. It's Sunday for
Sunday
you.
Sunday for me. So it's technically next week. Exactly. There you go. But it just starts after midnight for me with the Smack Attack. I never know what time the Smack Attack starts. If John's here, John, if you're listening, are you back? And if so, are we going 8 a.m.? Because that's apparently the time when John's around. So we'll see what happens there.
It's a good time for wrestling podcasts.
I've said it's too early, dude, per se, for listeners. But what do I know?
Well, I tell you what you do know, Jimmy. You do know where they can find the both of us the next time that they want to get a hold of us for anything at all. And for me, I'll go first, and then you can close out the show. But it's at Opinion Haver everywhere. You can catch me on the Impact Attack every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Let's Go Brandon. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
We talk about TNA. They are no longer seemingly part of the equation in NXT. I guess that little experiment is like, it's at least on pause. You could check out more of myself and Jimmy T on The Wreckage every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you want to check out what else? You want to check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers? That's on Friday. Concrete Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. If you want to check out the Stevie Richards Show, that also drops on Friday at an unknown time. But go check out those things. And if I'm forgetting anything, then oh well. You know where to find me. That's at Opinion Haver everywhere. So that's it for me.
Yeah, well, if you want to follow me, you can at DJ Massfix right there, and also at the UFC Network. But like and subscribe right here. I mean, YouTube channel. Lord, one mark at this point. Please get us to that 1,000 mark. We'll be very much appreciated. But we're getting there slowly but surely. Also, like and subscribe at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only to get the realest but the best talk in all of wrestling, and HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all of our affiliate shows, including the Wednesday Locker Room, for example, with Billy Ray Valentine and Steve and Bello as well. I mean, and the boys. But is that even still going lately? I haven't even seen a new episode lately from those boys, but I'm sure it appears whenever they decide to do a show. But yeah, go check all that out. But I think that's a wrap, Vet. So, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet, Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the Next Level Wrestling Review Show right here on Hamin Media Group, YouTube, on the Twitch, and not on Twitter anymore because Twitter don't allow it unless you're a premium, I kid you not, a premium member of Twitter. So eat a dick, Elon, just saying. Saying that, peace out. Thank you to everybody joining us, and I'm sure Big Ray will be back next week on his very show. Peace.
And you never get nothing in the end.